RTTV is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Keep your private financial data safe and secure out of the hands of hackers by using ExpressVPN. Learn more at expressvpn.com/RTTV. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Christian.
And I'm Andrew.
And I'm Gus. So, theoretical question. We were talking about...
You want to go with that?
I thought it was an interesting... We were having a discussion before the podcast started.
This is very
We
risky.
don't have to go the same way. I'm just asking the audience. So we were having a theoretical discussion, and Andrew was telling a story about how some laptop that was sold from, I believe, from Russia that someone bought online.
Yeah, some government.
And it had like a bunch of government secrets on it.
Yeah.
The person who bought it was able to find all this stuff, and I said it would always be interesting I thought it would be interesting to buy like a bunch of used hard drives off of eBay and then just see what you get. Like see if there's files on it, see if you're in file recovery, what you can find. But then Gavin said something that scared me. Gavin said you'd probably find a bunch of child porn. So I said
It's a risk. You don't know what you get into.
yeah, so I was like, well, maybe I definitely don't want to do that then. So like, is that a crime? Like if you find it, I mean, obviously you have to call the police, but then what do you tell them? Like, I bought this hard drive off of eBay, and now it's got a bunch of shit on it that is definitely illegal.
Is it better if you report it, or would you just shred it
or
and
just
be
destroy it?
Yeah. Do you just like melt it down in a fire and then?
I think you gotta tell them because that way they can find whoever had it.
Yeah, you can show them the receipts, the eBay receipts. Like, here's who I bought it from. Here was the delivery address. Here's everything you need.
I just bought it from that guy in that van right over there. Who just leaves. Yeah.
Like, either way, you're in trouble.
It would be interesting to just pull stuff off really old hard drives, I think, but it would also be a huge risk.
Yeah, it'd be like a separate virtual machine, like in a virtual machine, and do it all in there,
In a different country.
Yeah, I think you'd probably also run the risk of getting a lot of like mislabeled LimeWire songs, just like like Teenage Wasteland, a lot of like mislabeled song tracks. It's Bob O'Reilly, folks, but just a lot of Kazaa, a lot of LimeWire downloads.
Wasteland.exe. That's weird.
Yeah. Oh, and it's only 8 kilobytes. I think I'll just open that right now. Oh, interesting. Let me run that.
So yeah, that's if you ever wonder, what are we talking? We were basically having a podcast before we started the podcast. We were just like shooting the shit
And I
about
think
something
the phrase
random.
Child porn happened right as the intro rolled.
Yeah,
Like child porn. Bam, 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 bam. It's like, okay, well.
And we thought, let's definitely not bring that up.
And then Gavin was joking, like, let's start with that. Like, okay, let's start with that.
It's a conversation topic.
Yeah, it's a.
Oh dear.
People in the chat saying you have to report it. Yeah.
I imagine.
That
Yeah,
tracks.
yeah.
That makes sense.
So who is this? Nymistria says, this feels like people giving away their THC candy at Halloween. Like, who is really just selling hard drives of that on eBay?
Well, they're probably selling devices, leaving the hard drives in,
they
and
probably, or they
erasing
thought
it, and
erasing
they haven't secure erased it yet.
Yeah.
That one of my all-time favorite, just like urban legend myths. Just like there's no like documented cases of like people getting dosed on Halloween by like drugs and candy.
That shit's expensive.
It's expensive. There's not like it's like I'm gonna freak out the establishment and open the third eyes of all the children in my neighborhood. Like, nah, man.
Chill out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. They're getting so, jazzed up on all this candy. I need to bring them back down.
What is the point of that fear mongering? Every year you hear that, like, check your kids' candy. Make sure they don't have any, like, THC candy. And they're like, who's doing that? No one's doing that. I guarantee that has never happened.
I agree. There's absolutely no way. And also, just, I don't know, there's always panics, the moral panics that crop up around Halloween, especially. It's because it's about the candy, and then it's like, make sure that like each child like goes trick or treating at noon. It's like, and they're like, all kids go trick or treating now in the broad ass daylight, and are accompanied by like a phalanx of parents and stuff. It's like, man, when I was a kid, not to do it when I was a kid, but I just remember like we just like ran off into the night. Like it was just like a free for all, just like down the block.
I remember one year I was out with my friends. I was probably like a young teenager, 13 or 14 or something. We were just like, going out, just doing whatever bad kids do in the evening on Halloween.
Yeah.
And I found as we were walking around, I found a giant empty refrigerator box, and I was like, "Oh, cool, that's my costume." And I just wore a refrigerator box the entire night. Like I poked out like the handhold so I could see. I was like, I'm a refrigerator. That's it.
What was the thing you did as a kid that was the most dangerous, but you didn't understand how dangerous it was at the time?
Ooh, good question. Probably playing in refrigerators. Probably something like that. They explicitly tell you not to do. No, we definitely played with a lot of fireworks, and like at close range.
Yeah.
Like, dodged a bullet almost quite literally, like several times. Of like, oh yeah, we're standing like 5 feet away with Roman candles, just like someone's gonna lose an eye.
Would you ever hold the Roman candles?
Oh,
like,
of course.
like a firing
The
squad,
time.
like you'd line up and you'd be like, all right, let's go.
Just go with row, people just like
Yeah, exactly.
ready to take him.
What we like to do is we go to my friend had a little like ranch house, and there was this like I don't know how to describe it, a set of just like wooden stairs, and I assume it was for like doing ranch work and like working with horses or cows or whatever. But it was just like the perfect height to where we could like set up just a row of bottle rockets and Roman candles, and so we would light them all and then run out in front of them and just as fast as we could, trying to get away. We like set up our own like firing squad behind us, and we just run out in front of it. Because when you're like 17, you're invincible. No bottle rocket in the back is going to take me down.
I grew up on the border, the U.S.-Mexico border, Texas-Mexico border, and people used to buy these fireworks in Mexico. They called them palomas, and people would make like triangles. They were triangles out of paper like this big, and they were filled with gunpowder? Question mark.
They were bombs. Like,
Yeah,
really.
it's like, and people would light them. You just like light one of the edges of the triangle, and they would just throw them. And I remember one time I was in ninth grade, and I had a locker that was low to the ground, and I was like crouched down. I was opening up my locker, and someone tossed a paloma that landed just a few feet away from me. I remember I was unlocking my locker. I turned and I looked at it, and I thought, "Uh-oh!" And then it went off, and it knocked me down. Like it was so strong that I was on the ground. Next thing I knew, I was on the ground. I was like, "Whoa!"
Your bill got blown to the other side of your face, and you had to grab it and bring it back around. Good grief! Now, did the student who did that, did the kid in question suffer any repercussions for that? For detonating essentially a bomb in school?
Back then, you could just blow up your friends or people you don't like. It's just like, nah, you got away with it.
Saying, boys will be boys.
Exactly.
Oh, you kids and your monkey shines. They're like,
What were the things that were on the end of those? Oh, is that one of the things?
Yeah, that's what they look like.
Oh,
I like the lens
paper
cap for reference.
Yeah, they're big.
Also, what is that wrapped up in? That looks like someone's last known photo. What is that? That's just like, good God.
It does look like the obituary section.
Yeah, it truly does.
One of the photos
Killed by
found on
firework. We make palomas from the obituary section of everyone else killed by a paloma.
It's a self-fulfilling industry.
Oh, Lord. Do you remember the hammer things that people would have?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Explosives on the end of the hammer?
Yeah.
And there's that video of the guy that has like way too much on the end.
Yeah, it's like it knocks the
Blows
thing
himself up
out of his hand.
and he's somehow fine.
So someone in chat, who is this? Aciolek asked, what does paloma translate to? I don't know what it means for the firework. It can mean dove, is what I normally think of when I think of a paloma.
I think of the cocktail.
Oh, yeah?
Delicious.
So I don't know what the thing is. And there's someone in chat, actually, I recognize this person, who is from the town I grew up in. He says they still pop them in my old high school. So it's still going on to this day.
Tradition
Still
alive.
going strong. Well,
It's not one of those back in the day you could get away with it things. It's still happening.
still happening.
Yeah. Oh, man, I got really. Like, you're gonna be shocked to hear this. I got really pissed off at something this past weekend. I don't know if you all ever have this experience or if it's just me. I've never asked anyone about this, so maybe it's just me who has this problem and it's not everyone at large. But does the Austin Energy website suck ass for everyone, or is it just me? Anytime I try to pay a bill, I feel like,
Yes, it sucks.
yeah, it sucks. It's like, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Does it remember my bank account info? Does it not? Oh, I can't log in because I'm already logged in? How the fuck does that make sense?
Auto pay?
I don't trust autopay. They can't make a website where I can make a one-time payment and I'm supposed to trust them to do it automatically? It's why it's supposed to be like a techie city and it's super popular. Why the fuck can't I pay my bill easily? Why the fuck does it take like 10 minutes every month?
But put on autopay.
I've tried Chrome, I've tried Firefox, I've tried Safari. I don't know. I feel like I'm fucking Dr. Seuss book here.
You've got to buy one of those like old laptops off of eBay with an old hard drive in it and use like Netscape and log in that way.
No, that might be it.
That might be it.
Is it a private company or is it the government?
It's public, I believe. It's like the government.
Well, then that's why it's a piece of shit. They're all shite.
I guess so.
It's a good government website.
You'd be surprised. You would be shocked at how many websites in the year of our Lord 2021 are unfucking usable. Like that, just like a lot of them, I feel like are weird, like utility things or like or older infrastructure type stuff, which is just like, I'm trying to give you money.
Yeah.
Do you like hate, like, why does this process so like convoluted or stupid? I'm trying to pay you, jerks. I had a very similar experience, as I'm beginning into painting, and this is not like this is not sponsored in any way, and they wouldn't want it to be either, because I was using the Jerry's Artorama website. Unfucking usable. Like I was just like, I just want to buy some stuff and have it like pick up for curbside. Like should be like no problem. I mean, a hair-pulling, infuriating experience just trying to like buy some canvases.
When do you think that website went into effect? How long do you think that thing's been running in its current state? Does it look new and works like shit, or is it just an old piece of shit?
Oh no, it definitely looks like it was created by art students, like sometime in the 90s. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, log in. Okay, search for something. Spinning search is like, I'm sorry, this is again 2021. There should be no like loading spinning thing of like we're trying to find your items. Not at all.
Canvas, never heard of it.
Never heard of it. So it's like, okay, spinning. I would seriously like it would like be looking for whatever I was searching for 5 minutes. Like 5 minutes. I wanted to see how long it would go, because it would eventually turn up something for 5 minutes. But most of the time it would just kick me out. It would be like, you're logged out. Log back in to search and like buy stuff. I was like, I'm gonna have a rage stroke.
Would it log you out because it was just all sorts of busted, or was it like your session has expired because the search took so long? You're now logged out.
Very good. A distinction without a difference. It was just really
from the server's perspective, it just needed to get out of there. It was like, I don't know, just log him out. We'll be done with this.
Panicking.
Really, truly, just like, hey, you had that thing that I desperately need, right? Fire alarm. Just like, get everybody else. Scram.
This episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve are doing great things, not Original Sin or anything like that. It's a different Adam and Eve. We're talking about the upscale adult boutique. They've got everything from lingerie, toys, games, movies, and so much more. Right now, they're offering you 50% off almost any one item when you head over to adamandeve.com. Use code ROOSTER at checkout. Not only will you get a great deal, you also get 10 free gifts, including free shipping, 90-day no-hassle returns, access to their 24/7 customer service team, and Adam and Eve donates 20% of their profit to fighting the spread of HIV around the world. So, doing good things there. Enter offer code ROOSTER at checkout and get 10 free gifts. It's a sexy item for him, a special gift for her, and a third item you'll both enjoy. Then Adam and Eve will throw in 6 free spicy movies plus free shipping. It's offer code ROOSTER. It's ROOSTER at checkout at adamandeve.com for 50% off almost any one item and 10 free gifts.
How old do you think the domain is? Because I have the answer.
Jerry's Artorama?
Yes.
I say this as someone who frequently buys stuff from them. I would say
Tyler's asking how old is the domain?
2000. I'll say 2000.
For Jerry's Artorama, I'm gonna say 98.
But that doesn't tell us how new the website is, though, right? It's just when they registered.
I have that when the domain was registered.
94.
I'm gonna go more recent. 05.
We're guessing when.
$1.
It was in 99.
Hey,
Fair play.
And it hasn't changed a lick. Same functionality, same usability.
just like when it opened.
Yeah. But yeah,
The
Great
power
store,
of the 20th century.
in the palm of your hand.
I buy shit all the time from there.
Me too.
Various like slow-mo things that need paint. I always go to Jerry's.
Yeah. A place that, so it's a chain. Jerry's is a chain that I think they would absolutely have you believe was like an Austin local, like spot.
Yeah.
Which I blew Drew Saplin's mind with the other day. He
Thought it was like a local
because
place?
yeah, he gave me a little Jerry's Autorama gift card for my birthday, and it was very sweet. Thank you, Drew. And yeah, we got into a discussion. Like, that place is not local. It's a chain. He was like, I've lived here for years. Just always assumed that it was a local
The building
spot.
looks very one of a kind, doesn't it?
It sure
looks very
does.
local.
It's funny you say that. In chat, Fubarchaeologist says, I didn't realize Jerry's Artorama was a chain. It must be like that everywhere.
I think that they've got a really whatever money they're not pumping into a website. They're definitely doing this disinformation campaign.
Risa Reno, same thing. Neither did I. I thought it was a Nashville native company. Everyone has been tricked into thinking it's a local place for them.
It's out of the bag.
They're duping us.
Guys, I'm here to tell you, it's a chain. I'm so sorry. It's a national chain. I think
didn't
it
know it was a
started in
chain.
New England.
Wow.
But
It's
yeah.
not even from this country. It's weird that we have a place called New England. I don't know. It's always been weird to me.
Oh, that people from England copy and went, New England.
Yeah,
Well,
good enough.
yeah.
See, I mean, it's lots of places. Like New York used to be New Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, New
Now
York,
it's now New York.
New Jersey. I mean, everything up there is like that.
New Hampshire,
Yeah.
Mexico.
New Mexico.
a late addition to the roster.
Was there in chat? Mr. Seal Crayon is asking why no most this week. Was there not the most this week? It's tomorrow though. It's Tuesday.
tomorrow.
Yeah, today's Monday.
Yeah.
Do you think
Problem solved.
Problem solved. I'm glad we could clear that up for you. Yep. Yeah, the most is tomorrow at noon, and it's a pre-recorded episode because Drew Saplin was on the Face Jam road trip, so we pre-recorded 2 episodes, and the one that comes out tomorrow is with Hannah McCarthy and Jeff Ramsey. Got some big gets for the cast. And we got to hear. You'll hear a very. Please watch tomorrow. Jeff tells a very funny story involving a zebra, which I had never heard before. That was a harrowing ordeal involving a zebra. But yeah,
What a tease.
yeah. Check. Well, I mean, maybe not a life-threatening situation involving a zebra, but I mean, if you're a guy, pretty close.
was it his fault?
No.
Oh, because usually it's his fault.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was a. I won't spoil the whole thing. I'll give you a little context. Involved going to one of those like drive-through like animal zoo, like a drive-through zoo, like the Natural Big Caverns, like Wildlife Ranch, where you drive through and you have a handful of pellets or food or whatever, and animals come up to your car and gorge themselves on the treats within. Yeah, and
See where that goes.
it got real dicey there for a while with Jeff and a zebra.
One time when I was a kid, I went to the San Antonio Zoo, and they have like a little petting zoo with a similar thing where you like put money in, like a quarter in a machine, you get like a little handful of pellets, and it's like goats and other like little small animals you can feed. I remember, I don't know how old I was 8 or 9, something like that. And I went to the petting zoo at the San Antonio Zoo, and I got some of those pellets. And I remember I had like a big handful. I'd just gotten it. I saw a goat, went up to the goat to try to feed it. And with one of its front legs, it just kicked my hand. Like it kicked all of the food out of my hand. The hand went flying or the food went flying everywhere. And the goat just turned around and walked away. Like it was insulted at the offer of food. I've never seen a goat kick. It kicked my hand up and then just walked away. I was like, that goat is above this. that goat is done with it all.
Pellets, the very idea. Smack.
How old were you when this happened?
For like 8 or 9.
Do you think that's why you don't like outside?
But I like goats. Maybe that's why I like goats, though. It's like, man, the goat wasn't taking shit from anyone. Like, that shaped me.
respected that
I want to be like that goat.
Man, that reminded me, in San Antonio, there was like near the San Antonio Zoo, there was this like kiddie park, like kind of mini carnival area that had like little like cheap rides. I mean, for God's sake, it might still be there. If any San Antonio peeps in the chat can Google that real quick, or no, being from San Antonio. But so there were these little like carnival rides, and so you'd like go to like a little front little counter and you'd like buy tickets, and then you'd take the tickets and you'd like do the little rides there. Oh, this is for like little kids, so like little Ferris wheel, little like merry-go-round, all that kind of stuff. And I remember when I was a kid, I got 2 tickets to ride on this little like merry-go-round ride, and I gave it to a lady, because there were like 2 entrances. I gave it to a lady, my 2 tickets, and this other lady came over like later as I was like sitting down in the little cart, and she worked there. She was like, you didn't give me 2 tickets. You didn't give me 2 tickets. And I was like, no. And I'm so little, I don't know how to like defend myself.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I gave it to the lady, like telling her I gave it to the lady. She's like, no, you didn't. So she like lifts me out of the cart and like tosses me over the fence. Yeah. Yeah. Again, this is like 1989 or something. This is like, before there were laws.
The Cold War was still going on.
Ronald Reagan was president. No, I was so, that was like the first time I remember very keenly tasting like the fury of injustice, of being like, I'm too little to solve this problem, and I'm so angry. I'm like so upset that I have been like, I definitely paid my 2 tickets. I'm not trying to pull one over on you. I'm just trying to run a stupid little merry-go-round. But I remember being like, I was like crying because I couldn't do anything with this emotion. Like, what is this I'm feeling? This thing's not being right. Like this shouldn't be this.
Because then you start crying. You just look like a kid throwing a tantrum.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I'm throwing a fit. Yeah. And I remember like having to like, my mom having to like calm me down and then like, explain again. You're just so little, like you're just like, I paid the ticket and she threw me off, but she didn't think I had to. Just like, well, I'm sorry. Like a parent just being like, well, I'm sorry. Like you can't really convey like what the emotion is, but like much later came to grips with like, oh yeah, I just hated injustice. That's what I hated. That was my Batman origin story. That's what, like.
What would you say to that woman now, face to face?
Let me back on the ride. We're going to that. We're going to the kiddie park, and you are going to open the gate for me so I can walk in and absolutely destroy that ride. Like I would sit on it now as an adult and just collapse it.
In chat, I don't know how to say this. Mick X Valkyrie says the kiddie park was actually called Kiddie Park.
It was, yeah.
And it's not there anymore. It's a burger joint now. So your chance for justice is over.
That lady is working at that burger joint, and I'm going to try to buy a burger there one time, and like I'll go pick it up from the window. Hey, wait, you didn't pay for that burger. You didn't stand in line. No!
And she picks you up.
Put you back in your car.
through the like sunroof. Yeah. What is happening?
You grew up, but so did she. She's like 30 feet tall now. Like she hasn't stopped. She can pick you up easily like a child.
That's a Black Mirror. There we go. It's a very, very Twilight Zone turn of fortune.
Last week I mentioned on the podcast that I had a problem with the tires on my car, and I had to go, take my car to the shop. They replaced some of the tires, and while my car was at the shop, at one point I had to get in an Uber. I had to take an Uber ride. I almost never take Uber rides here around town because normally I have my car. So anyway, I got in this Uber, and I was going from kind of near where, kind of near where the other studio is. Actually, I was going from there up to a place in Pflugerville, and the Uber comes and gets me, and I get in, sit in the back seat, and it's a woman who's driving, and she's not very chatty, which is fine. I don't want to be chatty either. I just want to make sure, like, I don't want someone to think I'm an asshole, and I want to, like, I'm ready to talk if they want to talk, but if they don't want to, A-okay.
Fine by me, yeah.
So if she's not very chatty, great, fine, I don't care. I'm just going to sit there, I'm like, using my phone or whatever, and I hear like a beeping noise or something, and I look up, I'm like, what the hell is that? And she's got like a newer car, like not like brand new, but not past a year or two, and she's got like a big display in the middle, like it's like where it shows the radio, it shows like what station it's on, what song it's playing, and it shows the vehicle range until empty, and it says 20 miles, and I'm like, we're going from kind of central Austin to Pflugerville. We're
like
gonna be
20 miles?
You're gonna be getting on 35, and I'm like, I don't say anything. I'm like, surely she knows she's almost out of gas. And then the whole rest of the trip, I couldn't stop staring at it.
Of course not.
I was just like, my eyes were glued to it the entire time. Like, why is it in the center? Why is it where I can see it? Why isn't it like on the dashboard in front of her by the speedometer? That's where it should be. No, it's like in the middle, and I'm just watching it the whole time.
Just tick down mile by mile.
If I was an Uber driver, I would have a fake fuel gauge just to freak people out.
We got there, no problem. She definitely had enough gas to go drop me off.
Did you say anything at the end? Like,
no. I was like, whatever. And I just got out, like, well, She's off to the world now. But it's like, I can't imagine like being an Uber driver and letting it get that low. You know,
Yeah.
you never know what the next ride is going to be or what's going to happen.
Well, I can tell you, I can only imagine that if you had a particularly not understanding customer and you ran out of gas while like having it with a fare, that's destroying your star rating, which might like lose you that job because don't you have to have like a 4.8 or above
Oh, really?
constantly,
Yeah.
or like
If you go below a certain threshold, you immediately lose your
Really?
ability to drive.
Wow.
I think it's a 4.8. It's insane.
yeah. So
Harsh.
So
because some passengers are dicks.
yeah.
yeah.
So then, yeah, really give them that 5-star rating. They need it. God, that's fucked up. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I gave a 5-star recently to a guy who I think was a lunatic person. He was driving around, but every time we stopped, he had to pull out a big roll of bubble wrap, and he would break some off, and he would just start popping it. And he would get really agitated, like driving around. He'd be like, and then he'd just get his bubble wrap and just be popping it like inside the steering wheel, like with his thumbs and stuff. And I was just like on my phone, I could just hear like, I was like, maybe each bubble he pops is someone he doesn't kill that day. I was just like, 5 stars, all right.
That is
Terrified.
ice chewing lunacy. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it was weird at first. I was like, what's that noise? Oh, he's got bubble wrap. And then he just kept getting through it, pulling off a load more, and then just having it. And I was like, how much does he go through in a day? This is crazy. And I just wanted to learn all about him, but I didn't say a single word. And then I got out.
And then I got out and I think probably narrowly avoided death.
I continue to live my life.
To live my life not being that person's basement decoration. That's insane.
Yeah.
Just like, is that like a coping or like therapy mechanism that one finds on one's own, or was that someone a professional was like, have you ever thought about getting? It's like, I know you're driving. Have you ever got one of those nervous little widget things like you can just like
Like a stress ball.
a stress ball, something you could fiddle with? It's like, no, I need that popping sound.
I need to kill something. I need to destroy something.
Yeah, exactly.
It made it like look uncomfortable to drive though, because he was like doing it. He was like doing it around his steering wheel, popping bubble wrap. I was like,
Was he also pulling it out while he was driving, or he would at least
he
wait
would
to
pull out
stop?
more usually at the stops,
Oh,
but he'd
okay,
be
okay.
popping
It's not pure lunacy.
like 70%.
Yeah.
I like just like at every like red light or stop, like he would just rewrap the steering wheel in bubble tape so that he could hold on to it and just pop like clack 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 clack, just pop it with his fingers.
What would you have done if he offered you some?
Some bubble wrap? You want some bubble wrap? Yeah. I'd have been like, yeah, I probably would have taken some.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, he's gonna kill me otherwise.
Yeah, that's not the type of person you say no to.
Yeah.
If one of you is like, if you want some bubble wrap, there's some, you can pull some out. There's a dispenser under the seat back there. Just pull out some sheets.
It's like, oh, we got charging cables, we got bubble wrap.
Yeah. Charging cables, bottled water, bubble wrap, whatever you need.
Have you seen, speaking of charging cables, have you seen that there are, how can you put this? There are charging cables that exist that have extra chips in them that allow a malicious third party to steal information off your phone if you plug the cable into your phone?
What? No, but it doesn't surprise me. They just like suck data off like into the connector.
Right. It's like, I believe that it connects, the other end connects it to a special device that then sets up a little Wi-Fi hotspot that then you can
Can just
connect like a
offload.
laptop or something to in order to offload data from the phone. So don't plug into charging
Random cables.
Right. That you don't know, that you don't own yourself. Because I've seen a photo of them next side by side with a real authentic cable, and you can't tell. It doesn't look any bigger, doesn't look any different. It's
What?
Yeah, don't use strange cables.
don't use strange cables.
That reminds me of how people will have the card swiping add-ons at gas stations where you stick them in.
A
and they can steal
skimmer?
Yeah, skimmer, that's the word.
Or like on an ATM or something.
Yeah, and they
Or
can
on a
steal your
gas
card
card.
info.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can
That's
find
insane.
a
That's
photo
horrifying.
of it to show you. Yep, security researcher develops lightning cable with hidden chip to steal passwords.
How's that not encrypted though? How can they use that?
I don't know. I think once it's plugged into your, I don't know. I don't know enough about that stuff.
Maybe it's like if your phone's unlocked, then it's free game.
Maybe. But then normally, like you plug it into a computer, it's like, do you want to trust this device?
Yeah.
It'll ask you that.
Yeah. It asks if you want to trust the device. Which, my God, I made the mistake last week of actually plugging my phone into my laptop. What a mistake.
What for?
To charge it, but then I realized it's like, oh, now it wants to put like all like 20
God.
gigs of my phone onto my laptop. And does so whether I want it to or not. Like if you plug it in, it just goes because it creates I think it automatically creates. I'm sure there's a way to disable it, but it's just like, why? It's like because I forgot about it later. I was like, why do I only have 1 gigabyte of space on this hard drive on my laptop? Like all my programs are crashing or slowing down. Oh, I did plug my phone into charger, and then I went, of course, into like storage management. Was like, oh yeah, there's an entire iOS backup on this.
There's
thing.
a phone in the computer.
Yeah,
now.
exactly. God. Yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Since talking about therapy can be kind of hard, let's use a bunch of analogies. You get oil changes for your car to prevent bigger issues down the road. You see a doctor and go to the gym to take care of yourself to avoid injury and disease. You do chores. Well, I mean, some of us do, or, try to avoid a messy home. You see the pattern? It's all about maintenance. Going to therapy doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. It just means you're investing in yourself to keep your mind healthy. Therapy is a great tool for living better. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy. You can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Why invest in everything else and not your mind? This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Rooster Teeth podcast listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/rooster. That's BetterHelp.com/rooster.
I've come to the realization that the notifications on a Mac come in the worst possible place, and that the middle of the screen would actually be better than where they come.
Why?
Because they come in the right, which is where all the search bar is. It's where if I'm in mail, that's where I type to search for an email.
Yeah.
I've always buried under all these shitty notifications.
Even the opposite side of the screen. Even just like if it came on the top left.
I would say even in the middle, 20, 200% size would be less inconvenient than me having to
You'd think that they would give you the option to set where you want the notification to appear.
Yeah.
Right? Why
It'd be pretty
wouldn't
cool.
you have that option? We're software developers. Look at us coming up with features. I'm glad you brought up push notifications, because it's on my list to talk about here. Push notifications. Because push notifications have been pissing me off too.
Yeah? On your phone?
Why is it like so many apps abuse the push notification system where it's like, I need to have push notifications on, but then they use it to spam ads to me all the time. It's a way to like use up real estate and get my attention, and I should be able to circumvent that. There should be the ability to turn off ad notifications. Like, I just want the essential notifications. I'll uninstall your fucking app if I get a fucking ad that I don't want.
Name and shame.
Yeah, no shit.
It's all the fast food ones.
Oh, yeah.
Like Wendy's, McDonald's, Whataburger.
Delivery ones is like, hey, 4% off now if you order now. It's
Right.
like, it's 3 p.m. What do you want from me?
Yeah. It's like, oh, if you order a full 3-course turkey dinner in the next 20 minutes, your DoorDash will get like 20% off. It's like, absolutely
Not now.
not. Like, in no way am I going to order whatever like meal you're recommending right now.
Also, it still interrupts what you're doing on the iPhone to tell you your battery's about to die. Like, it'll still pause the video, and you have to dismiss that message.
Oh, yeah, you do, don't you?
And that's got to be for a reason. They would have just,
probably-
it could have just been like a little banner that goes away.
It's probably get you to enable low power mode.
Do it on its own.
Yeah. So you told me to name and shame. One of the ones that I mentioned was the Wendy's app. And as I was deleting it from my phone, never to install it again, I was looking at the Wendy's logo. You know, it's like the red-haired girl with Wendy. And I noticed that the ruffles on her shirt in the middle, like she has like a little choker, it looks like it says mom.
It does.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's like MOM.
Yeah, I think there's like that's like one of those like subtle like subliminal advertising and imagery type things where it's like, you subtly see mom and think like, hamburgers like mom used to make. Like it really is a like,
Yeah,
yeah, I can see it.
we're about to pull it up and put it on the stream. I think, but yeah, you all can see what he's about.
you can see what we're talking
to
about.
do
But
here.
yeah, it's one of those things that's like, how remember in the 90s when those two Pepsi cans spelled sex if you like if you like stacked
There
them
it
on
is.
top of each other?
MOM. Kind of looks like mom.
Yeah, I can see it.
I felt bad
Kinda
deleting
does.
mom, but she was sending me too many Wendy's ads. I don't want a Frosty Chino. I think that was it. I think that was the one that put me over the edge.
Now I'm curious. Is like go into power saving mode. Like what am I doing on my phone that like do it automatically? I don't know that I'm like doing any type of like high level like.
Right. Usually, from the user perspective, you can't tell the difference. Normally, you can't tell the difference when it's in normal mode versus the low power mode.
Like it's,
Right.
it's not like fetching shit in the background.
Right. It's not fetching shit, and also like I think the refresh rate changes a bit. Like you might not have dynamic, or it might not go as high. Things like that. Like it's subtle differences.
I'm pretty sure Android doesn't tell you; it just does it. I think it'll warn you when it's at like 5%, and it says go into super battery saver mode. But other than that, I think it's just like heads up, your battery's low.
Do you use Android?
Yeah, I'm a Pixel boy.
Fair play. Yeah. Good cameras on the Pixels.
Oh yeah, they're very good.
You ever go out and take pictures of anything worthwhile? Like I feel like we all have these amazing cameras. That's like the big selling point for all of these phones every year. It's like the camera is 10 times better. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna really use it for anything. Yeah, I know you do,
Cats. Yeah, I film a lot of stuff.
but it's like most people. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna like take a picture of my Wendy's cheeseburger. It's like,
Pictures of the pets, the cat just sitting there looking funny. I'm like, oh okay, snap a photo.
I took a picture of your Wendy's cheeseburger, sent it to Wendy's, and says, "This is the last time. This is the last one you're getting from me, you bastards."
yeah, it's yeah. I feel like it's such a waste for most people. Some people like Gavin, I'm sure, use it for actual work and for actual things. You're trying ProRes on your phone, aren't you?
Well, it's not out yet, I don't
Oh.
think. But I was reading about, because we were talking about it recently, and I was like, I wonder how many gigs per minute, and I think it's like 6 gigs per minute on your phone, which is why on the smaller phones
You
say
can't use it.
They don't allow you to do that.
To shoot like in ProRes on your phone. I think like Filmic Pro, that app, I have that on my phone, and I think it allows you to shoot like pretty close to that. Like it allows you to shoot like raw.
So it's like less compression and noise and stuff.
It like gives you that like raw image file that looks kind of like gray. It's like
That's
there's
like
like
flat image,
yeah, like,
color correction.
exactly. So you can like color correct it after the fact, but. Oh boy, it really does just absolutely eat up your phone hard drive. Just like, oh, this is cool. Sweet. Okay, now, well, we got one take because now my phone is smoking and very, very empty. And then it's like, my favorite thing is both computers and phones when they like really close to being absolutely full with hard drive is you're just inability to work at all in order to clear things off of it to make it
Yeah.
work better. It's like, no, just let me delete this. Your phone does not have enough memory to delete the thing that it's like, this is, my God.
Have you ever tried to like plug in an old phone, like an old iPhone or something, and figure out how long it takes for you to actually be able to use it? Like, first of all, a phone that's been off for like a year
Yeah.
won't turn on for ages. You got to leave it plugged in for like an hour before it'll even turn on.
Yeah.
And then it just, I guess if it gets a connection, it's just like, I got so much shit to do. And it's just doing all this shit, just doing all this
It gets
background
hot.
shit. It gets really hot. And it just like, I'm just looking at it just like, what's it doing? Like, what's it playing at right now? Why can't I use it? Because I can't.
No, it's it woke up from its Rumpelstiltskin like sleep and discovered an inbox a mountain high. Just like, all right, well, I guess I have to imagine too that it's just like once it connects to a network and you've got it powered up, it registers the fact that whatever like iOS it has just been completely throttled by the maker. So it's just like, oh, we're not going to let you do any of this. That wristband was for a festival 3 years ago. You cannot get in here. I'm sorry.
I have a similar problem. I don't know if you have much experience with them, but it's a similar thing with I don't know if it's all of them, but with a GoPro that I have. If like in order to charge the batteries, they have to be in the GoPro, and you have to plug the USB-C cable into it, and that's how it charges. But I have one battery that's so dead it refuses to charge. And I had this problem before where it was like too dead to charge. So the way I worked around it last time was I had to take the battery out of the GoPro, plug it into USB-C, turn the GoPro on, and then once it was already on off of AC power, then plug the battery in. And then it was like, oh, I've got a battery. I should start charging that.
Oh, weird.
World?
You have to like trick it into working.
Right. It's like otherwise the battery is just because like if I haven't used the battery, I think that battery I hadn't used like in a year. So it was like it was dead. Like everything was gone from it.
What?
Yeah, it's Hero 8. Yeah, that's what I've got. So like so one of the batteries is able to take a charge, and I charge it, but the other one's just like dead. I need to do the old trick on it to get it working again.
I think the Hero 10 just came out.
Yeah, it did.
It's got like that front-facing camera, so you can now like if you're holding like you can actually frame it like looking at the lens. It's got a
Oh, really?
It's got a screen on the front now.
Interesting.
So
They've always had like that shitty little LCD screen. I guess it makes sense for them to put like an actual usable like viewfinder. Before it was just like numbers and what mode you were in, and
yeah,
that was it.
exactly. Now it's actually like a screen, but like it's still got a lag to it, or like maybe the 9 or something. Did the 9 Black had a lag to it? Maybe the 10's better. So it's like it really is just for framing. It's not for like monitoring because there's like it's still a little
Slow.
you know
Yeah.
catching up, but it's like just for framing purposes. And man, I saw because I was very interested in actually getting the reason I know about this, I was interested in getting a GoPro to set up for doing little like painting streams and stuff. And man, that like motion smoothing stuff they've got on those things is bananas.
Yeah.
Like for a little thing like this big, just some pretty miraculous technology in it. Yeah, just watching like demos of like the motion smoothing, I was like, good lord.
I mean, you got to think about GoPro's an interesting company to me because I think about what is it that they do that you can't get with your phone, right? Because I think about like before, like flip cameras existed, and like there were these other cameras that were manufactured by other companies that as soon as like mobile phone cameras took off and became decent, all of them just closed shop. They're like they could see the writing on the wall. So I often think about GoPro and I wonder what is their special sauce that they don't fold, and I think this image stabilization that they do is part of it. Also, I mean, I think just maybe you're able to get such a
I
wide
think the
FOV.
wideness and the smallness is like getting angles on surfboards and shit that no one could do before.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the mounting system, like all the different mounts you're able to attach to, and how I guess universal it almost kind of seems to be. You can find those mounts just about everywhere, or put them just about any place you would need to film.
Did you get one in the end?
I did not. I have not. I just hooked up 2 different like webcams because I was like,
I can give you one if you want. I got some lying around.
really? You're
The light
just-
in his eyes
I
it just
just-
sparked.
what? That would be wonderful. Yeah, that would be amazing. Truly incredible. Because I had some like old webcams, so I just like set those up. But I was actually I messaged you, Gus, last week because like I think I'm going to need to get a like PC if I'm going to be doing like painting like videos and stuff and recording multiple cams at the same time, because I've just been doing it on my Mac laptop, and every time I've done it, and even using like lower quality video settings, it's just like your encoder is going to die, like recording those 3 video sources. And every time I've done it, this is like, so I did one and my system crashed halfway through it. And so I just lost the video. And then I did another one the other day that I managed to get all of, but as soon as I finished the recording the video, I'm like, stop recording. Just my computer, just like black, like nothing, black screen, just like goes dead. And I'm like, okay, like unplug everything from it, then plug like just one power cord into it, restart it. It saved the video file, but just like never has it been so taxed that it just went, I'm done.
Just gave up, yeah.
I'm good. Not even like no blue screen, no like this is I encountered a fatal error or whatever, that like the gray screen, nothing. Just like off.
Gone.
Just shutting down, off. So yeah, might still be in the market for a PC here in the near future.
When we first started quarantining, we were doing podcasts from home. It was impossible to buy webcams. I don't know if you remember that. Like, everyone bought them all; they were all gone. So what I used initially when we were doing the podcast from home was I set up a GoPro on my computer with like a mini HDMI out into a capture card, and that's what I was doing for a while, and it worked fine. I mean, it wasn't as good as what we ended up getting eventually, but you got the job done.
Yeah, we got GoPros going now for our webcams in the temp office.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, they work real well as cams.
Yeah. What I did
webcams?
was for the 8, I bought what they call the media mod. It's almost like a little case you put on it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
That way you can still plug in power and do mini HDMI out at the same time. And it's got a built-in mic that's higher quality than the one in the GoPro itself.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. I'm wondering, like, is there a way to disable? Because, like, for my purposes, I actually don't need it to be like super wide. I'd actually prefer it a little bit more.
Yeah, there's
like,
different FOVs you can pick.
How about that?
There you go.
Well, I take some of those off your hands, Gav. If you brought me a nice Garth Marenghi's Darkplace DVD collection today, which thank you very much. It's like one of my favorite shows of all time. So thank you for that. And now maybe a GoPro.
Because you put it in your Instagram story recently. There's some reference to Darkplace, and I was like, I don't think I've ever spoken to an American that's seen that.
One of my all-time favorite shows.
It's amazing.
It's the best. It is so good. And so short-lived. There's like
it's 6 episodes.
6 episodes.
There's like 3 DVDs in there.
Well, yeah, there's
another show.
There's
as
a
well.
series and then another show. Man to Man
2
with
DVDs.
Dean Lerner. Yeah. So this is also it's like this is the perfect season for Garth Marenghi's Darkplace. Like it's Halloween. It's like spooky. It's scary. It's a great great October show. So I think all of it's on YouTube too. So highly recommend Garth Marenghi's Darkplace.
Yeah. If you can't get those Region 2 DVDs to work, then just watch it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I can jailbreak these Region 2 DVDs.
You just gotta rip them.
Yeah.
And they'll be region free.
Yeah.
This episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by ShipStation. Holidays are coming up fast. I'm sorry, got to remind you. And if you sell anything online, you got to start preparing for the busiest time of the year with ShipStation. It's super convenient. It's all about making the process easy for you. Everything's just organized at your fingertips. You got to check it out. Figuring out the best way to ship your orders can be stressful and confusing, but ShipStation makes it quick, easy, and convenient. You can easily import orders from any sales channel and automate just about any shipping task. ShipStation also integrates all your selling channels into one simple dashboard, so you can seamlessly connect carriers, print shipping labels, and get products out the door fast. ShipStation works with all the major carriers and gives you exclusive discounts on UPS and USPS shipping. It's never too early to start preparing for the holiday rush, so get a head start with ShipStation. Our listeners can use offer code ROOSTER to get a 60-day free trial just in time for the holidays. It's 2 months of stress-free holiday shipping for free. Just go to ShipStation.com, click the microphone at the top, enter code ROOSTER. ShipStation, make ship happen. In chat, Risa Reno was asking if you had any updates on your duck painting.
Oh, so this is actually kind of heartbreaking. Do you want to hear the story of this?
Absolutely.
This is a sad ending?
Well, it's so this is kind of heartbreaking. So I did that duck painting, and thank you all for everyone who like said nice things about it. I really appreciate it.
It's a great painting.
Thank you. So the piece, the piece of board that I painted it on, was too thick, and it did not meet the guidelines for submitting to the duck stamp
Why does
contest.
that matter?
They have regulations that it can't be more than a 1/4 inch thick with matting. So the picture has to have a like 1/8 inch mat around it, and be with that matting can't be thicker than 1/4 inch. And the actual piece of board that I painted it on was 1/4 inch thick. So that 1/8 inch matting around it made it too thick. So it would have been
Sand it
disqualified.
down or something? Make it thinner?
I suppose so, but it's like I don't know if the structural integrity of the board would have held up had I like sanded it down. But anyway,
technicality, I can't believe
I'll
it.
tell you, it was a technicality. So, I mean, that's very sad, but at least I have a nice little duck painting and it was a lot of fun to do. But yeah, so it was the like rules and regulations for submitting to that duck stamp contest. Like I like read over them and I was like, oh, 1/4 inch. Great. I'll grab a 1/4 inch
Yeah.
panel. And then it was like,
That's
oh, it has to
such
have
garbage.
it has to have a mat around the painting. And with that can't be thicker than 1/4 inch. So I was like, oh.
Did you get it at
Real
Jerry's Artarama?
I sure did. No, that non-local business establishment. No, yeah. But this is just me. But now I know, and so next year I'm gonna give it another go. For
I felt like it got that whole competition got some spotlight this year because Last Week Tonight with John Oliver did a segment about it like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
or so,
a bunch of people
talking
sent
about
me that segment. I actually haven't watched the segment yet because I was still a little heartbroken about it. But yeah, he did. Yeah, they did the Last Week Tonight did a whole special on it.
Yeah.
So sad. Oh, this is a sore subject now.
Oh no, it's fine. It was just one of those things where I was like, you know, those moments where you're like, surely I have to be reading this wrong. Surely that. Oh. Fuck. And then so it's like a mixture of like frustration, anger. It's the same injustice. It's like I got kicked off out of the kiddie park. Just like, oh, fuck. I mean, and that's the thing is like, it's like it was a 9x12 piece of board, and like I only have like an orbital sander, and I was thinking about that too. I was like, I guess I could try to sand it down, but it'd be so uneven. I don't know that I could have like evenly sanded it down. And it's like I'm trying to take a quarter of an inch off. Anyway, I like went through all these calculations too, and was just like,
So like Cosmo Kramer it, get like the deli slicer and it's like very precisely run it through.
If I'd known someone with like an actual woodworking shop, I probably would have taken it and put it through a planer, which like can like actually like, but I don't know if that does. I think that does both sides, not just one. Anyway, next year, I'm coming back with a vengeance.
Maybe accidentally doing the other side.
I think we have.
It just takes off both sides. Just gives me a nice thin piece of non-pink.
I think we have one of the paintings that was featured on the Last Week Tonight episode over here.
Oh my god! Wait. Okay, so see, part of the rules, and there's some controversy about like, so there has to be some element of like hunting
yeah.
or like game, like because it's for like the Fish and Wildlife Service, I believe, and so like there has to be something depicted in the painting that like represents hunting and like the hunting and wildlife and stuff like that.
From what I understand, if I remember that segment correctly, that was a new rule that was added under the Trump administration, which I believe they are rolling back and removing, so it's no longer required as of next year, if I remember the episode correctly.
Interesting. That well, I mean, it's
so I think the winning one, the most recent winning one, I think like it was a duck sitting in the water with like a duck call floating in the water next to it. Like
that's how I got away with it.
Yeah,
I put a duck call like just behind the duck in the shadows.
Right.
Just to like, well, it's there.
Satisfying the technicality, checking that box.
Yeah, exactly.
They're needless.
I love that I did that, but then also completely fucked up the thickness of the painting. Like it's like, I'm so clever. Oh, fuck. Well, shit. God damn it. But yeah, so if they're rolling that back, next year there won't be a bunch of like weirdly. I feel like a lot of the paintings that I did see, as I was like, oh, what am I in for? Like looking up the contest, a lot of paintings I did see, it really did feel like the hunting element was kind of shoehorned in there, like to meet that requirement. A lot of just like, oh, beautiful duck, and then like, just like a hunter in the background with like a gun, or like a dog, like jumping through the water, and it's just like. Kind of takes focus away from the bird, like what you're there for, for the point with a bird. But that photo that you just pulled up, that one looks like the duck has the gun. Is that a joke?
Yeah. It was like a joke entry.
Is that a bit? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Like the duck hunting, the hunted has become the hunter.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that's just
You didn't notice the duck with a gun? It's a picture of a duck with a gun. What do you mean?
It's even got its other wing wrapped around the gun,
Yeah.
like it's holding it.
I thought it was the tail of the duck, and it was just like turning its head around.
I am tired of these motherfucking hunters in my motherfucking katydid patty. Oh my god.
Yeah, I guess they commissioned. Well, you should watch it. It's an interesting segment. But yeah, it was weird watching it because I thought about your painting right away.
Well, next year, like I said, I'm coming back with a vengeance, and maybe there won't have to be some like a duck call or a shotgun shell. That was the other one, is like empty shotgun shells floating in the water. I'm like, okay, cool, a bird and littering, wonderful, yeah, tremendous.
Does the criteria for the painting change every year, or could you just resubmit on the thinner wood next year?
I don't know if they like,
maybe you're already
because they give you like a list of birds, so it's like 5 birds that you can choose from, and I don't know if that rotates.
So you might have to wait 10 or so years to resubmit if the same bird comes back.
Exactly.
Check every year.
Just the next time there's a blue-winged teal, next time that comes back up, I'm in, baby.
Sprint to your closet, start digging through your boxes. I've got it.
In the mail.
It's such a weird contest. What? People seem the amazing. Like, I hate seeing that. I'm sorry, Andrew. I hated seeing your painting because I couldn't do that. It's like I see that, and I'm like, that is too much talent.
Good save.
That is
Wow.
that is unbelievable.
Andrew, I had to tell you, I hated seeing your painting. We'll be right back after these messages.
It's just like, I can't do that. I feel like I don't have any fine control over my hands. I don't understand. Like, if you put a gun to my head,
That duck can oblige.
yeah, paint a decent duck, or you're going to die, I'd be like, just get it out. There's no point in me even trying. I can't do this.
Catch my brains,
Patronize
God.
me like this. Just pull the trigger.
Yeah, don't make me suffer.
I was talking to someone who was really good at painting once. I was like, just so talented. Like, how did you find out you could do that? And I'm like, it's not talent. I worked hard to be able to paint like that. And I was like, you don't understand. I couldn't paint better than a 5-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
I can't put anything that I can see onto canvas or paper. It just doesn't exist in me. I don't understand it.
That's why I hate playing some of those games like Gardic Phone and whatever. It's like it's just like text telling you to draw something. In my mind, I'm like, okay, I know what I want to do, and then you start drawing. It's like, this isn't coming out at all.
Yeah, I can see it in front of me and I can't even do it.
Right. I know exactly what I want to do, and it's not going to come out anything like that. It's so incredibly frustrating, and I hate it so much.
That, that was an interesting thing about like starting to like try to paint was just like the mechanism, because I don't know what it is, like whatever mechanism, you're just like, okay, I'm looking at that and I want to put that on this. Like, I just want to turn that into this. And like one of the things that I found is like that I've liked doing lately when I've been painting is like not trying, because that duck is very accurate. Like, it looks like the thing it looks like, which like oh, there it is. There's my painting.
Look at, I hate
That's
it.
you did that?
Yeah.
Look at that. Don't you hate him too?
Yeah.
That's
He
so
did
good,
that,
man.
It looks like a fucking photo. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's got like the depth of field fall off is like too thick though. It's too thick.
Too thick.
The duck is too thick.
Damn duck too thick.
How long did that take you?
I was like between 12 and 15 hours. Just like a lot of like real like a lot of detail work, a lot in there with a little fine liner brush, like doing those little like spots on the duck and stuff. Some airbrush stuff. I learned how to airbrush to do a lot of that kind of like bokeh, at depth of field, out of focus stuff in the background, and a makeup brush that actually like to like soften, like blend in edges and stuff like that. And this was like for me, it was like a lot of like guesswork, and then also like watching some YouTube stuff. I'm like, okay, how do you make things look blurry? And it was just like, oh, there's a lot of different ways. A lot of people use airbrush and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting.
So when you get to the finer details, like the spots on the feathers and whatnot, how do you like keep your hand from shaking? Because naturally, hands are kind of shaky, right? How do you?
Yeah, like
do you like secure it?
Slow your heart.
no, really, it feels a little. I feel a little bit like Solid Snake. Like I've got to like. Or what is he taking the first Metal Gear? Like,
Diazepam?
Diazepam or cigarettes?
Yeah.
They like actually like calm, like steady your aim or whatever. Yeah, no, there is a little bit. So for those really fine, like the real fine small details, fine line work and stuff like that, what I do is I usually take it off the canvas, put it flat, and I've got like an acrylic, essentially like a clear acrylic stand. I don't know what you call it, but I like set it over the painting and then rest my hand like on it over the, like kind of just hovers like right over the painting, so that you can kind of get down in there and do those, because like to like have it like feet away and to do a lot of those like small line work would legitimately like be incredibly difficult for that stuff. But anyway, so yeah, well, thank you guys. I appreciate your
Hate it.
Your hate. Thank you.
Hate it in the best possible way.
Yeah.
It'd be wild if there were competitions to like paint other animals. Like, I feel like the duck has a good PR person. Like, they have this whole contest, they have this whole thing. Like, why aren't there other animals that have the same like competition for with this notoriety?
I agree. It's very. I'm with you on that, and because what's really interesting about ducks and duck painting and looking at all the other like entrants and the painting that I did is like in terms of like you like painting animals that have like personality. Like dogs are really fun to paint. I've been doing a lot of like pet portraits and stuff like that lately. And dogs and cats are real fun to paint because they have personality. There's like life in their eyes. They like look. But I was like looking at photos and pictures of ducks. It's just like there's just like nothing. I mean, you know, you're really like straining to like give this like duck some like energy or personality or stuff like that because it's just like.
Have you ever seen a sheep up close? Like a look to sheep in the eyes?
Oh yeah.
There's just nothing behind them.
Nothing behind
just,
it.
like-
Dead behind the eyes. Yeah.
They're really creepy.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Sheep are also like. I feel like the sheep that I have encountered in my life are been kind of like mean, like, or at least just kind of like so dead behind the eyes that they're just kind of mean, perhaps. Yeah. Growing up, going out to like family ranches and friends ranches, like with sheep and stuff like that. Yeah, they are, and they have those weird like, they're like goats. They have those like
rectangle pupils.
Yeah, they've got those like rectangle
Strange
pupils.
eyes.
They're rectangles?
Yeah.
It's like both a slit and a circle, right? Isn't it? Like comes down, then it like whoop, and then whoop.
Is that it?
Yeah.
It's creepy. I know that.
Yeah,
Can we
goat.
get a sheep eye picture?
Oh yeah, can we get the picture of a sheep's
We're
eye?
flying the sheep
Oh
eye,
no, you're
please.
right. It's more like a rectangle.
Oh, it's like a
that's
horizontal.
Awful.
Yeah, it's like a.
It's just awful.
No, they say
like a slit.
they only watch widescreen, no pan and scan for them.
Right, yeah, they have anamorphic vision.
Yeah, don't show a sheep portrait mode.
I did a painting for my uncle of a ram, of a bighorn sheep, and had to like paint that like rectangle pupil, and because then I like. That's the other interesting thing about that's come to learn about painting is that you like really have to look at the thing, like you're like looking at a photo for reference. Just like you have to study the thing that you're looking at, and yeah, looking at a sheep's weird square pupiled eye, you're just like, this is unnerving. Like I don't like, man, no thanks.
Just why is it like that? What is
I
the
would
biological reason
love to
to have a
know
rectangular pupil?
something that I feel like could be easily knowable that I do not.
Yeah.
And why is the cat's the other way?
Goat.
And
Ah, look at that. Look at that horizontal. Look at that square pupil.
Look at that
Bump, bump,
pure
bump,
evil.
bump.
Oh,
Yeah.
It just gives them better peripheral vision.
Oh, would you love to live deliciously?
God, I love that. I guess since they since they're herbivores, they always have to put their head down to eat grass and stuff. The rectangle gives them better peripheral vision, so even when they're looking down and eating, they can still see if predators are approaching them.
have
So
you ever?
what other herbivores have rectangular eyes? Why is that not more common
Let
then?
me look.
Brontosaurus?
This is according to Redwood Hill Farm, by the way. According to scientists from the University of California, Berkeley, bunch of pot-smoking hippies. Horizontal pupil, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't like I can't easily find a list. I'm sure that one exists.
Have you ever seen the picture of in the owl's ear
Yes.
where you
it's
can
awful.
you can see its eye?
No,
Its
no.
eyes
What?
are so big. You can like see this much of an owl's eye, but it's really like a lot bigger on the inside. And if you like look in its ear, you can see the back of its eye.
No, thank
There's
you.
Oh my God, I hate
wicked
this.
pictures
Horrifying.
online.
No,
It's
thank you
so
forever.
You would love it. You would love this.
Why did
picture.
you tell me about this? I
It's
hate
so
you.
Okay,
cool.
I now I don't want to see it, but I absolutely want to see it.
It's same thing with like ravens' ears or crows' ears. You can't see their
Well-
eyes, but it's just this hole in the side of their head. It's horrifying.
So I think of all. So speaking, we've really gone down a bird tangent, but of all things that like birds, like feather, like
Oh. So like, that is the back of the eye.
no, holy hell, no, oh my.
Can you imagine if like you're like digging in your ear and you accidentally scrape the back of your eye? Like, ow, my eye.
No, my rods and cones. Also, I think it's frogs too. Like use their eyes to swallow.
Oh yeah.
That's why when like if you see like a frog like eat or a frog or a toad like eat a bug or something, when they swallow it, they go. And they're like eyes squashed down because their eyes are similarly like help push food
Like
down the.
slamming the
Yeah.
food down.
Yeah,
the,
really,
the
no, their
eye.
eyes just go and like help it shove it down its throat.
The
Fun
little
fact.
noise you make.
Yeah, gross. But birds, what like owls also like owls, penguins, like things that you like look at a bird and go, oh, that looks like it's got some density. It's got some like, heft to its body.
Yeah.
Are nothing. That's like all like feathers and air. And like I saw recently like a cross section of what like basically what penguin skin looks like. Like it's like 2 full inches of like super thin feathers that make up that like coating that it has. It's like weird. If we could pull up a photo of penguin like
this is the weird animal shit podcast. I love it.
yeah. Penguins like feather, like the way it's like skin and feathers are made up are just like like no, it's one of those things you like. It's like fascinating, but also like kind of breaks this myth that just like, oh no, they just have this like.
I figured they were like thin feathers and like lots of lard to keep them warm.
I think it's kind of a mix of both. It's like a thick layer of feathers that then goes to like skin.
It's like
to
more
then
feathers
fat.
than you expect.
More feathers than you would expect. But it's the layer, it's like the thickness of the feather layer. That like it's like inches thick rather than like, and they're like stacked up next to each other like pine trees instead of like slicked down like you
I
think.
need to see this.
Interesting. I guess I don't give enough thought to penguins.
Don't birds also have hollow bones or something like that?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
birds have hollow
super weak
bones.
bones.
That's why it keeps them light so they can fly.
That's a cool thing about owls too, is they fly completely silently.
Yeah.
That is so it very creepy, but also incredibly cool. And I don't know how they do. I think there's like some.
I think it's the way their feathers attach at the end of the wingtips of their wings. I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
Where, it allows them to flap without making any sound.
They seem over-engineered. An owl is extreme.
An owl is like a bird stealth fighter
Yeah.
or stealth
Just go out
bomber.
in the day like all the others. It'll be fine. You'll find a mouse.
No, it doesn't have to compete with other birds to get food.
Yeah. Owls are like bird X, like bird to the extreme. It's Bird Baja Blast. That's the owls in particular too. Yeah, they're weird back of the eye and their ear holes. They're silent flying. The fact that they don't poop, they throw up those pellets.
Oh
They
man,
don't shit.
I found one of those when I was a kid, and I thought it was the coolest thing.
Yeah,
Take it apart, see all the like little bones and skin and fur and
I
stuff.
thought they did that, but they would also dump.
I'm pretty sure
They don't have an anus?
I'm pretty
No,
sure they
birds
or
have
cloaca?
Yeah, there you go.
cloacas or cloacas.
Do owls shit? I think they might do both.
Hey, all right.
I think just the harder to digest stuff comes out as a pellet.
That'd be cool if
instead
you
of
could
going to the full
choose.
digestion.
If you could choose.
If I had like a massive curry and I just think, it'd be easier to make the pellet and not go
See, but do you think you'd taste it coming back up?
I think it gets put in the pellet.
Pellet, it has
just
something's
like-
on the outside of the pellet that you should be able to taste.
See, then like what you do is you eat something after the curry or whatever. You're like, I'm going to use this for the outside. You're going to eat a bunch of Oreos.
I mean, to be
like
fair,
an Oreo cover.
If it tasted a little bit like curry on the way out, I think it'd be fine.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, as long as it.
The most, God, I don't want to get too gross with this. The most pleasant vomiting experience I ever had was when I had food poisoning after I ate at the Salt Lick one time. Because when it came out, it just tasted like Salt Lick barbecue sauce. And it was like when I was done, I was like, that was a thoroughly pleasant experience. Would do that again.
Is that the same time or a different time to when the bean came
The
out?
bean came out of my nose that same time. That was it. Vomited so hard a full undigested bean came out of, I think it was my right nostril.
No, I don't
I'm
care.
just
Don't care
imagining
for
you
that.
vomiting and going, whew, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was drunk or anything. It was like I just ate something bad and it just came out. It's like I didn't feel sick afterwards. Like it was just that thing where it's like, I think it was the middle of the night. Like woke up like, oh, I need to vomit. You vomit. You're like, oh, I'm fine. Like that's it. I'm done. It's like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
no.
I still brush
Do
my
that
teeth
again.
afterwards. It's still
Damn.
disgusting. But I was like, oh, that normally it's a really like awful process.
I think I found a new pastime.
It's like if that's the number one vomit, what was number like 2 through 5? Like
I don't know if any other one I don't know if I can rank any other one in my
Yeah.
life. It's just that one. and
number
then
one,
every other
number
single
one, and then a like 100-way tie for last. However many times you've thrown up in your life, just like, yeah.
Have you ever been throwing up and you're trying not to wake the person that you're in bed with? You're trying to like silently throw up. It's so hard.
Yeah,
In bed?
Not throwing up in bed. But, like I've gone to the bathroom and I'm just like,
Trying to keep it quiet.
and it's just like, just sounds like someone pouring out a bucket of water in the toilet. But you're trying not to give it any of the like,
right. Not trying to make a performance out of
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
really
it
sell
just
it.
kind of stifles it. I feel like it like fires it out in a different way sometimes. When you're trying to be quiet.
At that point, it feels almost like it's falling out, as opposed
Right,
to
right.
it's like being
Can't get
projected
good
out.
distance on it.
Well, I would argue that I would argue that like part of the cathartic the catharsis that vomiting gives you is in part due to the theatrical performance of doing it. And so like when you can like go blah, 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 and like do part of that like act, part of the like in between retching, or when you can just kind of like
You've just got like nothing left to hide. It's like this is rock bottom for the night.
part of that is the like that helps in making you feel better after you vomit. So I imagine that like having to try to vomit quietly is just like man is not doing what it needs to do to be like just having to hold that sucks. That's awful.
Good times.
There's just like vomiting is such it's a ubiquitous, it's a universal human experience, and it's so immediate. It's like it's like when people say like live in the moment. That is one of the times when you are living in the fucking moment. Just like hopefully like best case scenario is you're hunkered over a toilet, which is like one of the worst places on earth.
And it's funny because what I was about to say was, in the moment, I never think about how disgusting that is and how I wouldn't be in that position or my face that close to the toilet ever. But in that moment, you're like, this is fine.
Yeah.
This is the best place to be. This is correct. Gonna get this done. Gonna wash my hands, brush my teeth, and move on with my life.
Get on with my life. Yeah. Of all the places to like, that is the best case scenario for vomiting is like over a disgusting toilet. I can think it maybe if you were like out in nature, just like off a cliff, like just where it just like goes away.
It doesn't even hit the ground. Like the wind disperses
Yeah, but then
it.
you got wind risk.
Yeah, just like off a sheer cliff, just like like right back up into your face. It's like the Big Lebowski when they're spreading the ashes. Just like, oh God.
I feel like the best voms are the one and dones, and I feel like they're quite rare. But when you get it all out in one go, and then because I feel like with a vom you can immediately tell whether round two is coming.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like an immediate relief, and it's like, oh, I'm definitely not done. You're just waiting it out.
Yeah,
It's
you're just like,
and there it is.
Sitting there
Yep.
catching your breath and just waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is just like, here comes the whatever the vomit roller coaster you're on. You're just like, nope, we're climbing back up. We're going for round two.
It's like when you know you need to sneeze and you're just like, just get it over with. Just come on, body. Just do your thing. I want to go back to
Sneezes.
bed.
Sneezes are amazing. I just really enjoy them.
Like you personally, I love having a good sneeze.
Love a good sneeze, blasting it out.
That's fair.
We talked about the phenomenon on the most a couple weeks ago with Eric Badur and Brian Garr, the dad sneezes, the loudest thing, like the loudest noise a human can make is just a dad sneeze from across the house. Will just cut, and it's out of a deafening silence.
Yeah.
A dad sneeze will just like,
And it's like a whole body thing. It's like the legs come up.
blah, blah, like it's just like, oh my, like again, and I don't know, like my dad sneezed like that. I don't think I sneezed like that, but maybe I'm wrong. Again, maybe it is part, again, like the vom you're saying, maybe it is part of like the performance. Like you need to have this very like violent expulsion to like really see all the effects.
I've definitely gone louder with mine over the years, and it's just a case of, I think, just caring less and being like, look, I'm older now, I'm getting close to that dad age, I'm going to start blasting them out.
Yeah.
And they're just way more satisfying, and I just never got quiet again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's true. Maybe they just are really more satisfying. Man, is there most of the time when it's like, oh, I can feel a sneeze coming on, I'll like look at a light or something. Like if it's kind of like if I'm really edging a sneeze, I'm really edging a sneeze. I'll like look at a bright light or like do something and like make it happen. But I lost a sneeze the other day. That was like, I mean, it was so close. I was so close to sneezing, and then it just like it went away.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I feel like you're still mourning it.
I'm still mourning it. No, I'm truly. I'm sad about it.
Did you have blue nostrils?
I
Did it get you?
gross. Just I went into the bathroom with some pepper. I gotta take matters into my own hands. Still tissues. Yeah. But man, it really was. It was like I was like, oh man, no, that sneeze ain't coming back, and I really need to. My eyes filled with tears, like just like my eyes water, like all the like residual like accoutrement, like after effects of a sneeze, but like none of the satisfaction. It was just like. And it was when I was driving. That was like the other part too. It was just like I was like, ugh. Now I'm like eyes are filled with tears. I have to pull over.
I haven't had one of
Looks
those
into
in a
your car
while.
and you're just like,
No! Just like screaming to the heavens in my car.
have to pop bubble wrap to it.
Yeah, get that in some bubble wrap stat. The most impressive sneezes I ever heard was my mom would do those like dad level sneezes, and she would do them so loud that they would wake up our deaf dog.
Oh. Good God.
The vibrations, like the air.
It's a mini
Only
earthquake.
thing the dog can hear is that sometimes.
Speaking of vibrations that waking vibrations, was anyone woken by the
Holy-
thunder last night?
Holy shit. It felt like I woke up at one point and I thought, this must be what an earthquake feels like, because I felt like my bed was shaking.
Without question, the loudest, most like environmentally shaking thunder I've ever experienced was last night. There was one like crack of thunder that not only like shook my apartment, like my glass on the side of the bed rattling, like it was so powerful, it shook the whole place for a few seconds. But then the thunder itself lasted, I want to say it lasted 30 seconds. You're like, oh, that's not like 30 seconds is an eternity for a thunderbolt, like for like a clap of
What do
thunder.
you think about how long thunder normally is? A couple seconds.
Couple seconds.
Yeah.
This thing just kept going. It blew me away. Absolutely. Like, yeah. And like woke me up. I was like very close, like so close to sleep. I was like, because I like to sleep to a nice thunderstorm. That's really relaxing. And then so I was like very close, like ever so close to the edge of sleep. And then boom, 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 boom. It was like the thunder just kept going. That like was wide awake right away.
I feel like that kept happening to me last night, because the storm blew in probably a little after midnight or so.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like right when I was like getting in bed and everything. It's like, all right, I'm going to fall asleep to sound of rain. Then it's like right as I was drifting off, like huge, bright lightning and thunder.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's it. I'm going to fall asleep after this. But it went on for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just like not letting me sleep, just teasing me.
All my thunderstorm sounds are now followed by the sound of cat claws failing to grip on the floor. Like, freak out from the noise. Like, that comes with every lightning strike at this point.
You don't get the like Scooby-Doo bugga 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 bugga. You don't get that like sound effect when they're like that little like bongo drum sound when they can't get traction. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, I feel bad. I feel bad for animals during where everything's back to animals this episode of the RT podcast.
The animal episode.
It's the animal episode.
Podcast animal style.
Is like I feel so bad for animals during thunderstorms because they get so scared and they don't know what's happening and you
Yeah.
can't explain to them. It's like it's fine. It's like, I mean, if you say so, but I'm gonna shake here.
Yeah. Do you see me freaking out? See, I'm cool. Everything should be fine with you. That's what I was thinking. Like, from their perspective, they should look at me. I'm fine. Calm down. Everything's okay.
Yeah.
And you're there like dozing off, and then you're like, ah!
Yeah, I thankfully like my dog growing up was I'm just petrified of thunderstorms. Just like I mean like
Yeah.
and this was before like thunder vests or like, you know, whatever the various gadgets and stuff they have to like calm dogs down. But man, what a horrible thing to like not be able to convey. It's like it's cool. Like
Yeah.
just chill.
It's fine. This is you've been through this. It's never hurt you.
Also
you've
true.
Been fine. You've experienced this before. It's frustrating.
I'm just getting annoyed at them.
Yeah.
Look, especially with like the ones like last night where it comes in the middle of the night. It's like fuck. He's gonna be terrified, or it's gonna be terrified. Gonna have to deal with it. Calm it down. Till it's okay. Then even after it's done and over with, they're still gonna be on edge, freaking out, worried about it continuing. It's a whole thing.
I've never experienced a really big earthquake. I've watched a montage on YouTube, and I feel like it's always hard to tell what's actually happening because you just see everything going everywhere and there's people just falling down. But I saw one from a security camera on the front of a house, and it was the first time I've been able to like see the ground move because the house was moving with the camera on it, but then you could see the cars like also getting like pushed around on the street, and I was like, whoa, and you can actually like look at the ground and like how it's moving. It's crazy. I can't believe it. Have you ever you want to be in one?
I've
right?
never been in an earthquake. So
Really?
Yeah, I'm just desperate to feel what one feels like.
Me neither. Never been.
I've been in one and I slept through it.
Where was it?
California, LA area.
Of course.
Yeah.
They kind of got the market on that.
Was the deaf dog there?
I think he was. I think he slept through it.
You ever see that video? There's I think it's like an earthquake in Japan where there's like a security camera inside an office. I think it was Japan. And like everyone's like sitting down working, then all of a sudden like the dog stands up and like runs out of the room and everyone looks at him, and then like 2 seconds later the earthquake starts.
Oh god.
Like I guess it can feel like the initial tremors that are they're way more sensitive to it than we are. So like
It's insane what dogs can detect. I saw a video yesterday of a person with I think a therapy dog because they had epilepsy, and the dog, like the video was just a person doing dishes, and then the dog is sitting there, and then the dog just suddenly gets up and starts walking around the person, like jumping on the counter trying to get their attention, and then sure enough, a few seconds later, they started having a seizure, and the dog was there to catch him.
the dog and just knows ahead of
The dog
time.
just knew it was coming.
How did it know?
I've read that they can smell like changes in your body, whatever
Yeah.
kind of.
As your like body chemistry sort of like changes,
Yeah.
they can smell like what you're like secreting and like what's like in your breath that's like coming out of your skin, like all that registers. And there's so much shit we don't know about animals. I feel like we know probably maybe 50% of like
If we're lucky, yeah.
if we're lucky, 50% of just like all the different like almost like 6th, 7th sense shit that animals can do that we just I guess like how like I mean like dolphin communication and stuff like that. It's like, oh, they make squeaks and bleeps and stuff like that. It's like, and I'm sure people know a lot more in detail, but it's still there's still stuff that we're just like, I feel like we don't know shit.
The wild one to me that I was thinking about is like ravens telling other ravens about stuff and passing generational knowledge
Yeah.
down to future generations of raven, like letting them know like, oh, that person's an asshole, stay away from them. like to the point where ravens that have never met that person have heard from other ravens
Yeah.
that that person's an asshole or that person will give you
crazy.
food,
Ravens
right?
are
It's like
so cool.
how what it doesn't make
so
any
cool.
sense.
Yeah, ravens have that like madman hobo code where they
Yeah.
like write like a dishonest man lives here on like the fence post.
Communicated through sound?
I guess I don't know.
Like,
We don't
you
know.
think they
Yeah.
speak in raven speak to describe your appearance?
Yeah. Guy with a hat, white anorak.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, that ravens, incredibly intelligent. That's one of those things that was like we just like again we're like so limited on what we know about a lot of animals. Like ravens can be like taught to solve, but not just taught to solve problems. Will solve problems by themselves. There was a guy. Where did I hear this story? Basically, crows and ravens. Like a guy basically set up a bird feed vending machine in his front yard that he got crows to bring actual money to. Like crows and ravens would fly out and get quarters and nickels and would put it into this machine and it would give them food. So he would just like, he's had his own little crow business.
So he had a little bird bank.
Yeah, a little bird bank that these birds would go off and like get coins, bring them back and get food. And then also there's stuff like ravens have been like trained to like solve problems, like math problems, like stuff you're like, what the fuck? Get out of here. But yeah, they're just crazy. It's crazy.
Do you think they could get like debit cards and stuff? snatch them from people.
Get him like a little
ATM.
tatch to pay, little tap to pay bracelet around their little wrists.
Now we just need to get crows with those lightning cables with the chip in them to like fly and like hang out on like the patios of coffee shops.
I'm sure you could stick some sort of NFC reader on animals and intercept Apple Pay and stuff.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, exact. I'm sure you absolutely could. And that's my pitch for this new ABC show.
Just brainstorming now.
Yeah, I'm watching the video of the guy who built that bird feeder that takes money, and birds are paying it for food.
So how much?
That tries to put a CD-ROM in an emblem.
Oh, I see it. I just got there.
AOL 500 hours free. God damn it! Where did this bird go? Back in time?
It's Garth Marenghi series 1.
That shit's crazy.
I love that we just like we had to introduce capitalism to these birds. We had to introduce this system of economics to these creatures. Just like, no, you see, money can be exchanged for goods and services.
I'm just glad that grackles are dumb as shit. Like, we have such a grackle problem here. I couldn't deal with it if like grackles were as smart as
we'd be done
crows
for.
or ravens.
If
Yeah.
they were as smart as we'd be dead. We'd be gone.
Yeah, it's
They'd have taken over by now.
They were a menace. I was sitting out by Home Slice a couple of weeks ago, and one like it just didn't care that I was sitting there. It like jumped up on the table next. I was sitting outside. It like jumped up on the table next to me. It was closer to me than you are right now, Gavin. Like it got right up next to me and was just like looking at me with its cold little dead eye. Probably asking for a sugar packet.
Come on, man.
No one told it that you were a prick.
I was like, and in my mind I was like, I could probably pick this grackle up if I wanted to. It's like it is right next to me, staring right at me.
You just went. I love the idea of just very like assuredly, but very smoothly and carefully, just picking a bird up is very funny to me. I'm just being like,
This is mine now.
yeah, I have a bird.
Yeah, that's,
I'd like a pet bird. I think it'd be cool.
I think it depends on the bird.
yeah,
I went to an
make a real mess.
aquarium. A what?
They make a real mess.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
They're so loud. If you get like like nice birds that like are beautiful and live in cages, just really are just smelly. They're awful. They're just really.
I like the idea of them.
They're so loud and smelly.
You've found a bird in an aquarium?
Oh, I went to an aquarium for my birthday when I was a kid, and it was one of those aquariums where they have the bird shows where they have like the birds of prey swoop down over the crowd and like pick up food.
Yeah.
They had a volunteer come down. It was another birthday kid. He was like younger than me. He was like 8. He comes down and they put the food in his hand, and the guy's like, "All right, everybody, watch the bird do his thing." Sent the bird up to the back, and then the bird came down and almost pecked the kid's eye out.
Oh my god!
Yeah, like straight. I was in the back of the little seating, the Coliseum area, and I could see like blood running down
my
the kid's
God.
face.
So just missed the eye and got his face?
Yeah, it was like right like under his eye.
You wanted that sweet eye juice.
Tonight on Lawsuits.
Credit
Man.
to the lady. She was like, "Oh, seems like we had a little accident. Okay, we're gonna end the show a little early, everybody. Just go ahead, make our way out, and just talk to the kid like you're fine, you're fine."
The bird has a taste for blood. We must put it down immediately.
She handled it very well. I was losing my mind. Scarred me for life. I hate birds. They're terrifying.
So this is that is tragic that a kid got clawed in the face, but it's I went to medieval times as an adult, funny enough, and in Dallas I was doing a Master Pancake show up there, and just like, hey, you want to go to medieval times? Haven't been to one of those since I was a kid. Let's go. So we went, and they do the bird same thing. They do like the bird show there where they have like a falcon like, you know, catch meat or whatever out of the air or what have you. And, you know, the announcers on the microphone like, behold, as, you know, Godric the Falcon takes the meat out of the... And then at one point, the bird lands, like, kind of sort of goes off script. The bird, like, lands on someone's table, and just the complete dropping of the, like, accent of just being like, please do not touch the bird. It's like, watch as Godric soars to the... please do not touch the bird.
This is an emergency.
Please refrain from time getting near the bird. And then the handler had to go get it. They had someone go, but yeah, and then it flew back out. But just like I love the performative aspect completely ending on a dime to be like,
You are now in danger.
right, exactly. It's like it going from from theater to essentially like subway stop notifications, like that.
I was taking a flying lesson a couple of weeks ago, and we were practicing landings out at Smithville. It's like not a very busy airport, do touch and goes. And while we were out there, I kept seeing birds circling around the airport, on thermals and stuff. And I would point them out to my instructor, like, do we need to be careful? Like, there's birds here, there's birds there. He's like, yeah, just keep an eye on them. For the most part, like, birds are scared of the propeller. Like, they hear the sound and they will get out of your way. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good to know. So we finished doing all our touch and goes, and we're coming back to Austin to land at Bergstrom. And we're flying back to Austin. I'm in controls. I'm flying the plane, and I look out to my right, and I see a hawk like flying straight at us. And I tell my instructor, I'm like, that bird doesn't look like it's afraid of us. And he turns and looks, and the hawk like. It comes right up to the window. I swear, it looks like it looked at both of us. And then it like turned around and flew away. But like from my instructor's perspective, he's looking forward. He looks to the right, sees the bird. I hear him make a noise. Take the controls and like back him to the left. Because like it was right, like it was bulleting right for us.
I love this bird like went in the window, and then
you're in my world.
You were adopted by the wings. I was born into this.
Absolutely terrifying. Hawks are birds are fast.
Yeah, they're piss about.
We're almost out of time. We didn't even get to talk about Red versus Blue. I wanted to talk about Red versus Blue. I was like, we can talk all about Red versus Blue. Family Shatters starting up soon. Got a couple weeks ago. We'll have Christian on. We'll just spend like 90 minutes talking about Red versus Blue, and we failed to.
We should have talked about a lot of birds.
Entirely in its entirety.
Are they related? Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Watch Red versus Blue.
You see it right here
Maybe
down
some
below.
birds will show up.
Family Shatters premiering October 20th.
October 20th for Rooster Teeth first.
Yep, and the 21st for the general public and for YouTube. So it's like a non-canonical series.
They're
Family Shatters.
yeah, it's very. It's essentially a spin-off of Zero, so it's not an official sequel season or anything like that. And yeah, it's just 10 3 to 5 minute short, goofy episodes of some fun nonsense.
Is it a Rooster Teeth production?
I don't think I have the liberty to disclose that information.
So when we first started the podcast, some people in chat were like, "Have Christian say it. Have Christian say it." I was like, "No, I'm not going to ask Christian to say it."
You could say this was a Rooster Teeth production.
It was.
Little cap on it.
Yeah. Can I be honest about that production line?
Sure.
I hate it. I hate it.
Whoa! What a scoop!
Why do you hate it?
Why do you hate it?
It's such a bad take. It's so poorly.
We'll do it again. You don't have to
Do it right now.
isn't it?
Because it's like he starts off so like, oh, this, and then it just turns into me. This is a Rooster Teeth production. It just falls off so
All right,
hard.
Give us a take two.
This is the better one. I don't know if anyone's going to use it. This is the better one. This is a Rooster Teeth production. There we go.
There we
See?
go.
That's
Use
better.
it.
Yeah, use that one.
People in chat, say the line, Bart. Say it.
Say the line, Bart.
I didn't imagine you giving it so much head movement when you originally did it. You're like,
You got to put energy into it. Don't judge the process.
you got to no, I'm not. I always picture you just so still when you're saying it.
Yeah, and that was the
And now the
problem.
Rooster Teeth production dancers. Dun, 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 dun.
All right. Who is this in chat? Southpaw 516 says, "Wait, he's the guy." All right, we got to wrap this podcast up. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget, Family Shatters coming out October 20th. We'll see you guys again next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.